sharing session. So today is the last live interactive session, right? I expect that most of us will have something to say. Oh yes, I know that most of us will have something to say, but not really about this module. We're going to have this conversation at the later end of this live interactive session. After the speakers might have finished with that session, we'll have that conversation, that interaction of how what the live interactive session has been to you thus far. But for now, what we want is your experience with the last module, with module 6, climate policy and shaping the ecosystem. So I just want one or two persons to tell us what they think about this module. What have you learned? Is there something spectacular about this module that you have learned, the climate policy and then shaping the ecosystem? If there's someone, I would just, okay, maybe you should raise your hand and I'll call you to share your thoughts. Okay, there is Noah. Okay, Noah Ngeni. I'm asking you to unmute and please share your thoughts.
Good evening.
Good evening, Noah. Your audio is not very clear. You may want to shift from where you are a little bit so that we can hear you clearly.
Okay, good evening, and I'm very excited to have come this far. Yes, and particularly on the issue of climate policy, I'm interested, so much excited on the incentive. Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
We lost you at some points. Maybe you should try to come again. You may want
Okay,
to
I'm
say
saying.
that. Okay, yeah.
Yes, I was very excited about the incentive-based policies and the information-based policies. I realized that it's very important for everyone to understand and to know the reasons for telling people about the climate change. So I believe that the information-based policies are very key drivers to climate, to enable people to learn more about the climate change. And at the end of the day, it will drive the other aspects of climate change.
All right, thank you so much, Noah. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. So we'll quickly go to the next person, which is Anne Grace. And Grace, please unmute and share your thoughts.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is Anne Grace. I kind of joined a bit late, so I am still just going to module 4. Am I too late, or I can still go ahead and complete?
You can go ahead. You can go ahead.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much, because I thought now people are coming to the end and maybe those who have not yet completed the modules will be locked out.
Oh, no, that's not it. So we're still going to give grace of some few weeks for those that have not completed their modules yet to be able to finish up and catch up with other participants and all that. So we still have grace, and we're going to discuss this, or I'm going to share this with you at the end of this call to let you know that you still have some time to be able to catch up and finish with the modules before we finally lock the portal. So for now, it's still very open. You can go ahead and grace. That's still very possible.
Okay, thank you so much. I would also like to report here that I was selected to go and participate in a conservation training in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. So that will just add to what I am already learning now, and I will also be able to share what we've learned with the teams there. Thank you.
Oh, great. Thanks for sharing, Andres. And that's really very wonderful. So congratulations on your selection for the conservation training. Well done to you. So do we have other persons that want to share their thoughts? Are there other persons? Okay. So, all right, if there's no other person, or is it that people have not gone through module 6 yet? I'm just wondering, maybe you should let us know in the comment section that you are still left behind or you are still some. Oh, someone is talking, yeah.
Yes, sorry. This is Esther. I'm from Kenya. And what I can say about this program and about today's module, I've really learned so much. I have a side hustle. Okay, I'm a trainer, and I've been able to utilize some of the techniques that I've learned, some of the skills and the knowledge, sharing with my students. And I'm also applying it in my business. And on the policies, I hope to be able at some point to influence the policies that will be made in climate so that we are able to move ahead and actually reduce or make it possible for us to thrive in this earth where we have great climate change impacts. Yeah, we don't want to survive, we want to thrive.
Yeah.
So let's do this together, and I believe it has opened great opportunities for all of us for networking and for growing our strategies in our businesses. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Esther. Thanks for sharing. That's really appreciated. Like, we're really excited about the fact that people, participants are actually going to do something very cool with the knowledge that they are gaining from Breeze. And that's very important to us. One of the reasons why we are doing this program is because we want participants to gain knowledge that they will cascade to their communities and then their businesses as well. So this is very cool. Thank you so much for sharing. Anashia Maleko, I think that's the other person raising their hand. So I'm asking that you mute and ask, share your thoughts here.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm Anasia Maleko from Dodoma, Tanzania. Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for this program. It has been resourceful as a consultant, and I teach farmers. At least now I'm very confident when I talk about climate change, adaptation, and mitigation. I don't need to hesitate anymore. So this course has been very resourceful to me. Thank you very much for this, and I'm going to be a very good advocate for this, for people to join as many as they can for the coming cohorts. Thank you very much. It has been very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anasia. Thank you. Thanks for the kind words. And thank you so much for being a good student. And now you're telling us you're going to be a good advocate. Thank you so much. So, Yenisa,
one thing I wanted to ask, I did some of the modules and I received an email saying that I'm done, but I think I still have one module to do. So I don't know, were there any mandatory courses and then others are optional, or I just need to complete the whole modules?
Please, you have to complete all the modules. Just go ahead and complete all the modules. So, questions around modules, portals, and all that, portal usage and all that, we'll answer them after the presentation. So, thank you so much. We should just hang on till that time so that we can talk. So, Jenny Samori, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. The program has really been impactful. One thing I will not forget is as someone who is in agribusiness, before now, I have never known that cassava processing has an impact in climate change. So this course actually opened my eyes to it. And I have a network of farmers where I source these products from. So with this knowledge, I will be able to relate to them and see how together we will be able to mitigate the climate change impacts as Africa. Considering that I have a very wide network of farmers, I believe that this knowledge, I would be able to step it down to many other people. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much. Oh, there are many other persons. Maybe we should just wait after they go, because our time is fast spent. After the presentation, we'll come back to you all. Samuel, Teresa, please we'll come back to you after this presentation so we don't keep our facilitator waiting. You know, it's not in our culture to keep our facilitators waiting for too long. So I quickly want to unveil the top scholars for the week. So the top scholars for the week, this time around, there's no Kenyan here. Oh, this is really good. For me, this is my best top scholar, my best week. Anyway, every other week has been the best, but this week, like, these top scholars are really, they really just decided that, oh, we must get to this top, and this is really cool. So the first person is Tamara Ebedi. This one is from Nigeria. We have Elvis Beriya. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name very well. I'm really, really sorry. But this is from Cameroon. And we have Harold Telepwe from Zambia. We have from Golatier Romangalo from Botswana. We have Api Impete from South Africa. We have Aisha Abdulaziz Atamu from Nigeria. We have Edward Miawe from Liberia. We have Issa John Williams from Nigeria. We have Yeni Samwori. Oh, Yeni Samwori, the same person that just spoke. Congratulations to you, or congratulations for being the top scholar for the week. So we want to congratulate these people in the chat box and then clap, do something for them. We still have one more week for top scholars, even though we are not going to be announcing top scholars during LIS again, because we may not have or we will not have any LIS again. Today is the last LIS, but we're going to be posting our LIS top scholars for week 6. We're going to be posting them on all our social media pages, and we're also going to share them via emails to you. We'll also share the flyer via WhatsApp as well, so that you can repost, you can share with your network, or do anything that you would like to do with it. But definitely, we're going to have LIS top scholars for week 6. We're definitely going to have all of that for our week 6. So quickly, we may want to quickly go into the speaker's presentation. So let me just quickly confirm that my speaker is here, and we'll quickly continue so as not to waste so much time, as we have so much to do today. So
hello. Yes, I'm here. I'll just turn on my camera for a bit so that everybody.
All right, thank you so much. So I'll introduce you as soon as possible. Just now. Yep. Thank you so much. So we have Miss Ifoma Malo. She's the co-founder of Clean Technology Hub. She's an energy access expert and a climate action champion. She has over 23 years, so you can't beat that. Sorry. So she has over 23 years of experience building and directing organizational operations and strategy, supporting startups and MSMEs across Africa. In the past 10 years, she has become a recognized and credible leader in the energy and utility markets, working on the intersection of energy transition, energy markets, energy and climate financing, and climate adaptation markets. Under her leadership as the Nigerian country director of Power for All, she led the campaign to mainstream and grow decentralized renewable energy use, leading to the growth of the industry by 55% and the market size by 40% in 2 years. At Clean Technology Hub, where she's co-founder, she has built an organization working in the front lines of energy access and climate change, and working across 80 communities in 7 countries. She's experienced in political economy, energy policy and energy markets, developmental economy, climate and environment, sustainability, dispute resolution, process facilitation, and organizational development. Ifoma is a Desmond Tutu Fellow, a Dwight Eisenhower Fellow, an Aspen New Voices Fellow, an Acumen West Africa Fellow, and a Global Leadership Network Fellow. if you are excited about this rich profile, I think you should just show it in the chat box. Let's give a virtual clap for Miss Ifeoma in the chat box. Let's welcome her to our virtual podium and say some nice things to her in the chat box. Thank you so much, Miss Ifeoma. So I'll just mute so that you can take over from here. Thank you.
I didn't even recognize myself in all the things you were listing out, because this bio, I feel like it's time to revise it. This one was the one that my EA wrote for me. But thank you so much for having me. And it's nice to be here. Now, ordinarily, I would be showing a presentation, but because I have just a very short time, I can send the PowerPoint presentation later. I wanted to have an interactive session with the students. When I got this invitation, for me, it was a question of what is the BRACE program about? How are you building resilience against climate and environmental shocks, right? And when I looked at the scale of what the program was trying to achieve, to be able to train 3,000 participants, I thought, wow, isn't this the way to go when we're talking about climate impact? Now, I've been asked to speak to you about climate policy and shaping the ecosystem, especially around gender and climate. And I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, but I just wanted to set the context for the conversation that we're going to have today. There are no easy answers and there are no answers actually to the questions or some of the questions that I'm going to ask. But I thought it was worth us even trying to think through what our understanding of the issues around climate policies and how we shape the ecosystem. I approach this we're doing on adaptation and mitigation. That's number one. We have to involve young people and women in the conversations around climate. So this would include people with disability. That's number two. Now, a lot of the work we are doing, and I'm happy that a lot of the people that are in this program, we have to be able to tie it creation, decent work. That's number three. We're going to look at how we can then innovations that are coming out and how we build that we're reaching impact. And that's number four. Yeah. 77% of Africa's population, World Economic Forum saying this. So we have a youth population, and they're actually creating a new asset class. Projected to reach over 2 billion by 20. Also showing that this will double the reach by 20 billion or so by 2050. So at least 25% of the world's population are where we are. So more importantly is that 62% of these statistics that we're showing will be young people between the ages of 15 to 64. So it is important in light of all of this, you know, and a lot of the conversation and food security, looking at the causation and effect that this has on gender and the future. Can everybody not hear me? Can people hear me? Okay, let me see. Just give me a second.
Yes,
Let me
we can hear you.
And change my network very quickly. Oh. Okay, I hope I'm back better now. And I'm sorry that there are people that couldn't hear me. Can everybody hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So like I was saying, when you look at some of these statistics that I've cited, the fact that we have a continent where the population is growing, and it's growing fast for people below the age of 35, the impact, and it's supposed to double by 2050, and that we will now be 25% of the world's population. This should give you some cause to pause and to ask questions about how are we addressing the climate impacts related to population? How are we addressing the decent work, the health, the education aspects of our population increase? More importantly, how are we building for food security, right? The ADB, the African Development Bank, says that we'll have 850 million youths by 2050, right? So one of the questions that has come up is a number of young people are entering the job markets. How are we building for that? A number of women who are most impacted in vulnerable communities are trying to build around the climate situation. How are we building an ecosystem for that? We have a growing working age population, particularly women who are mostly left out of the conversation. How are we bringing them into the conversation? Now, the more urgent questions remains around how all of this data fares with the growing concerns about the global energy transition that is changing both our job dynamics, is impacting local communities, has impact on women and how they are living in their communities, how we're introducing new innovations to reduce global emissions, and how we're restructuring for what the future of work would look like. How are we channeling all of this for growth, right? And this is where the whole conversation around climate change and green growth in Africa becomes very important, because it has both present and future consequences for young people and even especially for women in the long run. So how do we harness the skills, the intellect, the knowledge, innovation, and solutions for the youth towards climate action? I will tell you a story because I like to tell stories, and I think stories give more meaning to the work that we do at Cleantech Hub. Cleantech Hub, we're a hybrid hub. We do energy access, we do climate change, we do sustainable entrepreneurship. So on our climate change end, one of the things we do is we support a lot of mini-grid developers to go into rural communities to go and build their grids. Many of the mini-grid developers want to do pure grid development. These are engineers. And so they leave what they term a lot of the soft work to Cleantech Hub. So in other words, they want us to do community engagement, demand simulation, customer enumeration, those sorts of things. And our work around building mini grids in communities, and usually rural and last mile communities across Africa, is to end energy poverty and to advance clean energy, because we know the grid is never going to get to all of those far remote villages. So why do they have to wait? Why don't we build out mini grids and microgrids to electrify people and do it in a way that does not disturb or destroy the ecology and the ecosystem? How do we also build these grids to not just to provide life, but to provide economic opportunities for the people in those villages, where they can use that electricity to build out cottage industries, start up micro and small businesses, and build for the future? Sometime in 2019, as we were doing this work, we were traveling to, it was a community in Niger State in Nigeria, which is in the north central part of the country. And our mini-grid partner was trying to connect the mini-grid that has already been built to the public health center that is in that village, in that community. While we were waiting for the primary healthcare center to open, there was a woman. The woman came and she was standing next to us, also obviously waiting for the nurses and doctors and administrative people to open the doors of the hospital. And then we noticed that one of our colleagues, there were 4 of us, noticed that there was blood dripping from her face, and it was falling on the floor. So we decided to ask her if she was okay. And she said, well, that she needed to come here and get treatment because her spouse, her husband, had beat her again. And so, she was speaking in Hausa, which is a local language, and I had 2 colleagues there who were Hausa native speakers. And I told them to engage her further. And so here is the story. She's the first wife in a family where there are 2 wives. The husband is a commercial motorbike rider. That's what he does for a living. I think there are 13 children in the family, not a lot of money. Money doesn't go around. Children are out of school, no food, yada, 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 that type of story. And when the husband comes back and she starts to demand that he brings money, it's his responsibility to feed his family and look after his family. It gets into a violent conflict where he beats her, or sometimes he even beats herself and the second wife, the junior wife. This is a Muslim family living in the northern part of Nigeria. And so when she told us the story, we sympathized with her. And then when the hospital, the primary healthcare center opened, we helped her to get the treatment that she needed at the time. And so after the treatment, she was about to leave and we stopped her again. I told them to stop her and ask her, because it looked like a never-ending cycle. The people at the hospital, the health center were saying that she's always coming, that she's been back and forth that health center several times, been stitched up every couple of months when the sort of domestic violence issues happen. And so I asked them to ask her what she can do so that, at least to reduce the domestic violence. As somebody who's very against that, I was worried that she's going to go back right into the same situation that brought her into the hospital. So she said, she knows how to ferment local drinks like kunu and zobo. The only problem is in that part of the country, it gets so hot and humid that by 11 a.m., the drinks go sour. There is no electricity, remember, in that community. And so I said to her, okay, no problem. If that's the only problem, we can give you a solar cool box. That way, when you make your zobo and kunu, you can put them into the cool boxes and then sell them for a fee. So we talked to one of our partners, Solar Sisters. They gave us a cool box. We purchased from them and gave it to her. She calls us exactly 4 days later to say, can she get 5 more? And I asked her why. I mean, she says no, because since she started cooling the drinks, that she now sells out sometimes in under an hour. So the solar cool box can only take so many drinks. And so she says she wants to have more so that she's able to sell more. She makes more drinks and then she cools them and she sells more. We said, okay, we'll give it to her, but this would be under a higher purchase. So she has to pay for this one. It will not be like the first one we gifted her. She said, no problem. So we did all the paperwork and everything. And then we sent her 5 more. She calls us exactly almost 6 weeks later to say she needed at least 11 more. What happened? People from far and wide and in the neighboring communities still come to purchase her drinks because that was one of the very few cold drink spots that were in the community because, again, there is no electricity. And these places are somewhat remote. And so we said, okay, by the way, she had paid off the one that she had bought. She had paid, I think, about 3 of them by that time. We said, okay, because you're paying regularly, we can advance you more money, or we can purchase and then give to you on a higher purchase agreement. So we extended the agreement. This is sometime in 2019. Our lady is one of the biggest entrepreneurs in that community. She has gone on to become a woman leader. She now employs 13 people. In fact, her husband at some point sold his motorbike and invested in the business. She has taught other women how to do this business. She has taught them how to ferment zobo, the leaves, that they need to ferment zobo. She has organized the women in that community so that they can also buy other solar products, other renewable energy products like solar cleans, that's solar dryers, to dry some of their produce because they're also subsistence farmers in those communities. This is the story of one woman who has been able to reach at least almost 3,000 women doing this. And she has built an ecosystem of other women that are working together through a cooperative to be able to provide food for their family. All her kids went back to school. Schools are going on. They're able to pay for their medical treatments. They're able to go and get treatments for, like in the past, many of them would even have babies at home. So it's natural birth attendants. Through the work we're doing with her, more women are going to use the primary healthcare centers to birth their babies. This is how you build an ecosystem. And you can see it came from using something that is climate friendly, solar products, solar renewable energy. We're building mini grids. We're trying to end energy poverty. We're not trying to wait for the grid to get to people. And using clean energy has a lot of climate benefits. It's certainly less carbon emission when you're using solar grids or microgrids to build. And at the same time, you're building community. You're building community of champions that are now taking that work and doing even more with it. There's a saying in Africa that when you invest in a woman, when you invest in a man, you've invested in an individual. When you invest in a woman, you've invested in a community. And I find that with this story and our experience with this lady, it has been exactly the case. Because now she's invited to speak at other places, she's invited to go to other communities, and she's helping us build a lot of our work around gender, climate, and the energy nexus. She's one of our champions, our female champions. This has led us to begin to also train women who own MSMEs on climate benefits and transitioning to clean energy. So the whole conversation that we're having in Africa around energy transition, we're now doing a lot of that work with women, but it's from our experience with one woman, a chance meeting where we met her at a clinic, bruised and battered, and then taking an interest and asking her what is wrong, what happened, and then seeing the opportunity to build that woman and understanding that she can build herself, but she can also build a community, and has now helped us, even as an organization, build an ecosystem of women, small and that have micro and small businesses, and women that are working in the communities on how to manage this energy transition in their communities, how to take advantage of opportunities in this energy transition, how to build friendly businesses, how to build businesses, even climate adaptation or mitigation programs. I will end with this part of the story. The women and their communities, the women communities we have even gone into a lot of adaptation measures. Many of them, one day, and one of the times where they were talking about how the heat and humidity slows a lot of the things that they want to do down. And so one of the things they said to us that if only they could plant more trees. And so that's how we started our tree planting campaign. The women are leading it. They're planting trees in their communities. Unfortunately, they're also dealing with a whole lot of backlash with people. We call them the timber cabal, people who cut down trees for whatever reasons, to build, for construction and everything. But they're really very invested in a lot of adaptation work, because for them it's about having a wholesome community. A community that they can call their own, where they feel safe, their children feel safe, they don't have to go to, they have fruits that they can get from the trees. These trees have even become an economic venture for them. So they're called economic trees for them because they are planting it and they're harvesting things from the trees and then selling them. This is how we build ecosystems. Sometimes it starts from one person. Sometimes it starts from a series of people. But it all starts from the idea that you can build a community. And sometimes it takes a few champions to stand up. I'll stop there for now.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Ifeoma. Thank you so much for all of the insights that you have provided our participants. Thank you so much. So we'll just quickly go to the questions and answers so that we can get a lot of questions answered. So please, if you have any question to ask Ms. Ifeoma, kindly raise your hand. I would ask you to unmute and ask your questions. So please, if anyone has a question, let's see your hands. I'm not seeing any hand yet. Oh, wow. Okay.
Don't be shy, don't be shy, don't be shy. Go on.
Oh, yeah. So I already asked someone, Chioma, that wants to ask questions. So Chioma, quickly unmute and ask your question. I've been able to. Chioma, if you are there, please unmute and ask your question.
Hello, can I go ahead to speak?
Oh, okay, okay. Please, Chioma, just hold on for a while so that Diala can go ahead.
Okay, my name is Udale Som. I very much appreciate the presentation by Ifeoma. That's wonderful. And the story she told about the woman in Niger State makes a lot of sense to me. I'm into production and processing of orange flesh sweet potato, and there's a time of the year that drying the potato becomes quite difficult. I'm talking of the period between July and September, when the rain is almost there every 2 or 3 days, and it comes heavy, and then sun is never intensive within that period. So we just have to rely on NEPA, on electricity that is not always there. So I took interest in her solar dryer. I wrote it down in my notes here that I should link up with her on this issue of solar dryer. So if I want to have a little more talk, either on the general platform or your link, so that I get to know how to get this solar dryer and the various capacities so that we can improve on our processes this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And the organizers can share my contacts with whoever needs it, and I will connect you to the right people. Now, let me also tell you how, in terms of how ecosystems help you with getting solar dryers. We were doing some work in some parts of Lagos State, you know, the part where they have fishes, the fishermen section. Yes. So this was towards going towards Lekki Aja area. So those women that sell, yes. So we were able to work with them, and we got a grant to do a solar dryer project there, but somehow, you know, that project didn't quite work out at the time. So the women came together and said to us, we are still interested in this solar dryer because we need to be able to dry our fish. We use firewood to dry these fish. And they were telling us how many women in their network, in their community, have died from coughs. They were calling it coughs and all of those things. So they were saying to us that they were very interested. So what we did was we helped them form a cooperative. Okay. They were able to get a loan from one of the cooperative banks that we work with. And they bought, I think, about 6 solar cleans, KLINS, solar cleans, which they now use to dry their fish, which even dries the fish faster, right? Again, it's part of that whole building community, building ecosystems. One of the problems I find with us smaller entrepreneurs is most times we want to do it by ourselves. So they defined a method where everybody had a time, if you're coming, so that they continue to get money for those solar dryers. And if you wanted to dry your basket of fish, you could do it for 3 hours, and then you pay a certain amount of money, right? So it was now again generating income for them to be able to maintain the solar dryers, to keep it running, and maybe acquire new ones. So, but my team will get back to you. We work with a lot of smallholder farmers, and we'll see how to include you in the network so that you're able to talk to those who need the same things that you need and find solutions. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Ifeoma. Thank you. So, Anne, Grace, your hand was raised before. Oh, Chioma has dropped off when she comes back. So, Anne, if you still have a question, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so impressed about the presentation. And just like the previous speaker who asked the question, I am also interested in the solar dryer because we are doing a high quality cassava flour. I don't know how they call it. Is it Gary? Yes, the high quality cassava flour. And just like he said, it sometimes when the sun is not there, the cassava ends up getting fermented, which spoils the quality. So ours is on really, we are looking at putting out high quality products from the farmers. And we also have another product. In Uganda, we make millet brew, which we call mainly known as malwa or millet brew. We ferment the millet, roast it, and then brew to make a drink. So we've been looking at how can we make that brew? It's a hot brew because when it is now ready for taking, they add hot water. So it is the only hot drink which is alcohol. But we are looking at how can we dry it for purposes of adding the shelf life and also transportation, because there are people who live abroad who are interested in having it, but they cannot carry it in liquid form. So we want to see how we can dry it. If we dry it under the sun, the taste changes because then the evaporation and what. But we are thinking that if we do it the solar drying, then it will retain its taste and then we can have a good product. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. So I think the African Food Changes Network team is also paying attention. Yeah, because there's a lot of need for solar dryers, solar cleans. How do people get? So we need to also talk and figure out how to support this these cohorts in terms of acquiring this or knowing where to go to find help with this, right? Okay.
Thank you so much. I was talking while muted. Sorry about that. So thank you so much, Mrs. Ifeoma. You definitely know that from here we're going to read back and continue this conversation to be able to get a consensus on how to go about all of the issues that have been raised. So Chioma, okay, please go ahead and unmute.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Ms. Ifeoma, for the presentation. Okay, my question is still on getting access to solar dryers. I'm into food processing, and drying is a major challenge. As I speak with you, I have different types of dryers powered by mainly generator, and I had to stop using them because of the cost, the high cost of energy. It uses both generator and the gas at the same time. So the consumption is high and also is not eco-friendly. So I need the dryers, the contact after now so that I can work with you to get the dryers. And I also need the contact for anybody in Niger State for beans supply.
Okay. African Food Change Makers. Yeah, they're taking notes because they will come back to me with all of this requests so that we know how to put you in touch with the right people, the right partners, and the right ecosystem. All right.
All right.
Chioma?
Thank you so. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ifeoma and Chioma. Thank you so much. We have Zacchaeus. This thing is increasing. All right, we have Zacchaeus. After that, Ralph, and then Farouk. Please, just these three other persons. If you have more questions, just drop them in the chat box and we'll read them out. So Zacchaeus, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you for that wonderful presentation. I also want to join people to make that request on the dryer, because I'm into cassava flour production, and most of the time I use advantage of the weather. I always do it during the dry season because of the financial implication. So I have interest in that dryer. Also, I want to ask for, because of other activity, I'm here to complete my modules. Can I go ahead, because I see today is the final for this course? That is my question.
Okay. All right, Zacchaeus, thank you so much for that question. So we'll address all of the module concerns and portal concerns just after Ms. Ifeoma, so we don't delay her. So Ralph, I hope it's not solar dryer I'm going to ask for. If that is it, maybe we should just go ahead so that we don't waste too much time. Well, you know, I'm definitely going to reach out to all of you that want all of these things. So Ralph, please go ahead if you have a different question.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. I can hear you. I can hear you.
My question is, I'm into production and processing of catfish around the Aja and Lekki that she said, and I said production of catfish and processing around that Lekki and Aja as is, but electricity is is the challenge we are facing. So now I want to ask that we also dry catfish, but we use charcoal, as in charcoal dryer, to dry it. Is it good enough to use a charcoal dryer? And also, you will also need solar for the production of the catfish, the fresh one, that is changing of the water. Is there anyone that will be reliable and at least affordable for that, for pumping of water?
Yeah. No, so this is a very good question. What's your name? Sorry, so that I can remember you when next.
Rauf Ajibo Nimota.
Okay, Rauf Ajibo Nimota. Okay. So you've asked a very important question, Nimota, and there are 3 questions I hear in what you asked. One of them is, you already have a way to dry your fish, which is charcoal. So is it safe? Secondly, I think the other question that you are asking is, in terms of the cost of electricity for using your water pump. And I think it went into what someone else said. If you're using generator, the cost of it is so high. So are there solar systems that can act as replacement systems for, like, I better pass my generator level? I will answer your second one first. There are so many systems, plug and play, that people use now to power their small businesses. So for instance, there are people working not just in Nigeria, but even in our partners in Senegal, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Rwanda, Tanzania, I think Uganda as well, who now have these systems that they give to or sell to barbing salons, especially, and smaller hairdresser salons, which they now use to power their barbing equipment or their salon equipment, right? And provide light for those places. If they have those systems, I'm sure they would have the one that can act as a useful tool for you to run your pumping machine. There's also solar pumping machines that you can buy that can help you with your aquarium, your fish ponds, and all of that.
It's very, very, very expensive. So that's why I'm saying, if there is anyone that would afford this, at least.
Yes, so it's not about affordable. Remember what the topic of this session was. How do you build ecosystems? You will have to find people who are doing it, who need the same things that you need within your community, and pull resources together to buy it. Must it be just for you and you alone, right? If you're trying to go alone as a small business, then it's going to be harder.
Even for my dryer, people bring fish to dry. It's not, but people bring fish to dry from my end. But in terms of that solar pump, it might not be easy for someone else to come from their farm to come and change water here. So that is it.
Okay, so to also answer that question, there are several business models that people use to sell these things. There is pay as you go. So you'll be paying small until you pay and finish the solar dryer. But that's an agreement you reach with the person who has the solar systems. But I will get back to you through the African Food Changers Network so that we can find some suppliers that can work with your budget and tell you, maybe space out the payments for you in a way that makes sense for you. On the charcoal one, charcoal is not a good, we don't think charcoal is climate friendly.
Okay.
So yes, if you're one of those that wants solar dryers or solar cleans, then you might want to be part of the people who are reaching out to the organizers of this seminar so that we know how we can do it.
Right. I would prefer that because I would like to be part of climate change.
Say that again.
I said I would love that because I would like to be part of climate change, a change maker.
Excellent. Glad to hear that. Excellent.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Ifeoma. Thank you for taking your time to answer all of the questions that the participants have. Thank you so much. This is really, 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 really a big deal for us. Thank you so much. So, like we always do, we'll take a photo with the facilitator before he or she leaves. So please, everyone, let's put on our videos and our best smiles so that we can take a photo with our facilitator before she leaves. Yeah, thank you so much for everyone that is putting on their videos. Thank you so much. So my colleagues are on the call to take the snapshots. So thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. My friends,
Thank you.
people, okay, yeah, I think people are all right. Thank
you very
you.
much. And great talking to you. So I'll follow up with you on the back end for all the questions that were asked, okay?
Yes, thank you so much, Ms. Ifeoma. This is well appreciated. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. So everyone, let's just quickly come back to the Porter talk. So we have just today as the last live interactive session, but we still have few more days to everyone that have not completed their modules to do so that people are not left behind. So even though today is the last live interactive session, if you check the portal, you see that we have 6 modules, and then the 6 modules we try to treat every module per week. So we had the first, the second, and then this is the 6th one, which is the last module that we are treating, or we have treated today. So for the live interactive session, it has ended today. But then for the completion of modules and all the courses in the portal, we still have a few more days. In fact, I'm going to be very generous. So I would like that till the end of the month, the portal is still open, and then probably till the first week of June, so that everybody that have not completed their module and all of that, they will be able to complete the modules, because once the portal is locked, you cannot access the portal or any of the modules again and all of that. So now it's time to take your time and do all of the things that you need to do with the portal before it is locked. And seriously, I think all the courses, all the videos are maybe about 6 hours or thereabouts. So if you invest 6 hours, maybe 1 hour every day, 6 days, you'll be able to complete the module and all that. So we're giving till the first week of June for everyone to complete their modules and all that. So if you have any question around the module, this is the time to ask. So kindly just raise your hand or drop it in the chat box, and then I'll ask you to go ahead and ask. Okay, Samuel, please go ahead. Samuel.
Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon. I can hear you, Samuel.
All right, ma. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the privilege to be part of those that are receiving this training, and I've been following it from day one. Unfortunately, last Friday I couldn't attend the online meeting because my battery was on and I couldn't charge my device. However, so far I've noticed that the modules, there's no provision for us to be able to download it except we screen record those lectures we receive online. So I wouldn't know if a provision will be made for us to be able to download the lectures for future references. I think these are things that are very key and vital that we could always fall back to as resource materials. So I want to plead with the organizers of the program, if provision will be made for us to be able to download those modules, even not just for the purpose of this training now, but even for future purpose, because as it stands now, we're ambassadors of this program and we are supposed to share the knowledge and the experiences we are gathering so that we can impact our various communities positively with the knowledge that we are acquiring. So I would want to see if the organizers could please make that provision for us so that we'll be able to download these materials and be able to implement it in our various communities. Thank you so very much for this wonderful privilege.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Samuel. So for the download of the videos and then the modules, so because of copyright restrictions, we're not able to allow participants to download the modules. And continually, this is what is going to be used for other participants, for other batches that are coming in. They are going through the same modules and all of those things. And that's actually why we have the additional reading materials that you can download. And I noticed that most of you are not able to download the additional reading materials, that is the PDF files, because you just go there and click on the download. The reason why the download is there is for you to know that that one is downloadable. That's why that download icon is there. So what you need to do to download is to open it first. And then once you're able to see the writings and everything, you can download from there. But there are other links that are not downloadable, which are the websites and links, articles, and all of that. All those ones you can bookmark and all that. But then I'm sorry for the videos themselves; they are not downloadable. I hope I'm clear with this. So Abiodun Omoli, baby, you can go ahead and ask the question.
Good afternoon, everybody. Greet you, ma.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Abiodun Omoli from Benin City, Edo State. Actually, I want to really appreciate the Braids for this wonderful program, and I believe that I have been a beneficiary of this very project. Now, there are two things I really want to request. The first thing is I noticed that the climate change coincidentally is dramatic, is what we are experiencing currently, even as we are taking this course. And it more or less looks like a practical thing. We are feeling it, we are taking the course, and we are feeling the direct impact. So, but there's something I noticed, there is a very, very big gap. And I don't know the speed at which we can really create this awareness campaign beyond the people that are doing the course. In our secondary schools, the people that are going to be impacted so much by this climate change are those young people in the secondary school. So there was a time on the platform I suggested that, is there any way we can collaborate with the Braids program to exercise our own knowledge, perhaps by partnering with the secondary schools, which is one of the 17 SDG, the SDG goal, the number 17 says that partnership is very, very key. Now, I am suggesting and I'm pleading with the organizer that we shouldn't just let it end with the number of people participating in this program. We can take it as it is hot now to the secondary schools. Even if it is just one secondary school we can cover, we'll be doing much. Then I also requested that can we get a t-shirt, a customized t-shirt from Braids. I don't mind paying for this, because if we don't pay for this now, we are going to be paying much more in the future. So this is my request. Then my second request is has to do with the area of solar energy. I think some of the, like the other Nimota or Ramota that asked about the fish or wherever, there are solar generators currently. And these solar generators, they are not very expensive. I know of PayHippo, sorry if I am advertising or mentioning any organization here. They have a platform for you to buy, you mentioned something like that, to buy and pay instrumentally. So some of these solar generators, what you just need is, there's this thing we call solar rationing. You don't have to power everything at the same time. And that's why people are saying that solar energy or renewable energy is very expensive. You just have to calculate what you need at a point in time and the number of watts you will need. So you need an expert to help you calculate these things, and you will not be spending much. These things are not expensive. I'm a solar engineer, and we are trying to let people know these things are not expensive. It is just that the fact that those people that are installing it, because something is new, they are putting much more cost on it. A solar generator is around 500,000, and it will do the same thing that Nimota was asking for. At least you can get something of 500 watts. Your pump, I don't think your pump is up to 500 watts. So I really appreciate this program. And currently, I'm still pleading that they should consider us for probably an intern or whatever it will be called, something like an IT, to support this program. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Abiodun. Thank you so much for that. So the thing is, there's so much that we can do, because we are also in an ecosystem that we are concentrated in a sector. For example, I've always read, in fact, that's actually one of the reasons why I've always talked about African Food Changemakers at the beginning, so that participants get to know what sector we're really working with and all of that. So we work with agribusiness owners, agribusinesses and all of that across Africa. We don't do education, we don't, even if it's part of, at the end of the day, they are interconnected. Like the SDGs would always say, the Goal 17, there's this interconnection and all of that. Even though there's this interconnection and all that, there is a sector that we really work on and all that. And that's actually why we're training people like you, so that after the training and all of that, why not? You can go ahead and go to the places you want to go to and do all of the advocacy that you need to do with all of the knowledge that you have gained. That's actually very important to us, because we know that we have trained people, and then they are cascading the learnings and then doing better with what they have learned in their different communities and society. So, but we are not able to directly start doing school programs and then doing climate change in schools and all that. That's not what we do, really. That's not what we do. We work with agribusiness owners and all that. So if you want us to support, you have a section and all of that, or you have a program, you are inviting us to partner with you and do it and all of that. Yes, we can have that conversations, but we do not do secondary school programs or even school programs and all that. So I hope I'm able to explain myself with all of this. So in Javwa Kawangas, I'm sorry if I'm spelling this name, I'm very sorry. So please, you can unmute and just go ahead and give you.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh yes. Thank you. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, the organizers, for according us this opportunity to acquire this knowledge. It has been very insightful, and I think in my area of business, we have extensive interactions with small-scale farmers. This issue of climate change, and I can confidently say that after this training program, at least I'm fully equipped to go out there and share the knowledge and also create impact. My appeal or question, I don't know whether there is a link for us to be able to access these live interaction videos. I am aware you've mentioned that the videos in the modules we won't be able to access, but for the live sessions, is it possible that there will be a link that will be shared for us to be able to access even after this sharing this program? Because some of the information that came through these live sessions is also very important for us. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for that question. So while still one of the reasons why we've not been able to upload the live sessions in the portal is because we were looking for ways to translate it to French so that French participants can as well gain. But then in the long run, we're going to still upload it. We'll upload it on YouTube and share links with all of you. So for the live sessions, you can get all of those links to watch them via YouTube. Thank you. Okay, CHC Agritech Africa. Please go ahead. Please unmute.
Okay, hello, thank you so much. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I want to congratulate this program. You've been really doing great. One thing foremost, I love the modules. The modules was really helpful, even in the course of what we do. At CHC Agritech Africa, we revolutionize the use of beneficial microorganisms for greenhouse gas reductions and also for soil health, and probiotics for animal, aquaculture, and livestock, poultry, general health, well-being, which is a natural way of producing our crops and animals also. So I would like to find out, since this program is about ending, if there is any chance that we could also train the participants here and other participants so that as they are already passionate in sustainable agriculture, not just sustainable, even regenerational agriculture, because we want our food to be in the next generations, we are very willing to provide free training on that aspect so that it can reach out to the rural places of Africa. So that's my own concern, and we will we will be very willing also to join if there are any other programs in the future. Thank you so much for having us. Yeah, congrats.
All right, thank you so much, and thanks for volunteering to also be part of this going forward. This is really, really, really important to us for the fact that we have participants that also want to share the learnings and all of that, and also what they do with other participants. This is very important to us. Thank you so much. So we'll definitely reach out to you. And we have other batches coming in the future where we'll have to train more people on climate change, just the same training with more people and all that. So thank you so, so much for volunteering to do this with us. Thank you. I'll definitely reach out to you. So Samuel Ndolo, may he ask your question? Samuel Ndolo, please ask your question. I've asked you to unmute.
Hi, I'm Samuel Ndolo from Kenya, and I'd like first to appreciate the Brace for the training. And I always know that every day is a day of learning. And my concern was through the models I came through, where an example of climate smart agriculture, where a certain company here at Kenya, almost where around my premises, is facilitating a practice. And I was asking if in case of somebody requires contacts for the nearby enterprise, can him or she be provided for them for site visit and for general learning more about what is being concerned there? Because my case, I'm referring to Vomitas model, where I saw that they are facilitating a good project of removing the carbon through agricultural soils, and they are sponsoring one of the farmers around, although it is a challenge where I can't access a farm and know where it is located. And then the last one was about, it was a concern. I know we are from a different countries here, and so socialization after this can help somebody to gain new skills or knowledge. So I was questioning for those who have, let me put it in, have established farms, who can share their ideas so that we can also gain or have a private conversation for talks and sharings. Otherwise, thank you so much for the program. I'm a farm manager. I've tried to use the climate change practices, and I'm now seeing the results, and I'm great. And then I'm requesting, in case of any other program for trainers, we are here and I'm ready for it. Thank you, and be blessed all.
All right, thank you so much, Samuel Ndolo. Thank you so, so much for all of the things that you have pointed out. So for us at Brace, it may not be the same model, but then at the end of this course, we are only going to be working with, we're going to work with some people or for study visit actually. So we're going to have technical cafes where we do the study visits to some prominent climate smart organizations or businesses that we can also learn from or do practicals of what we have learned in this course. But it's only for, because we have so many countries involved in this. We have about 33 countries that are participating in the Brace program. So we may not be able to go to all 33 countries because of it's capital intensive and all that. So, but we're going to select countries where we have a lot of people join and they are able to complete the course. So I'm just putting, I think I've said this before, that we're going to have the technical phase, which is going to take this shape. And also we're going to have mentoring sessions where we'll have, after the technical phase, where we'll have participants grouped into their various value chains. For example, if you are in processing, if you are in logistics, if you are in production, so we'll have different groups, and then we'll have mentors for these different groups, and then mentors will have to talk to you for a few weeks and all of that about what you do, and then how you should get better with what you do in every phase. So I saw someone asking if there's a direct funding in the chat box. So at African Food Chain Brokers, we don't directly fund businesses. We don't give direct funding at all. What we do is that when we have opportunities, when we get opportunities, we share with our participants to be able to explore those opportunities. And then we also do like the technical phase and all of that. So what we do, basically, there are trainings exposing our participants to opportunities, and then spotlighting our participants as well. For example, I think we reached out to some of the GRACE partners. I think 1 or 2 persons that would be will be spotlighting for our IG Live Business Showcase. So these are some of the things that we do with our participants. So we don't directly fund any business at all. So we have Farouk. Please go ahead and quickly ask your question, Farouk. So I've asked that you unmute and ask.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So I would like to say that I'm very proud and happy to be part of this training project. It's actually one of the best. I've attended that with GIZ before, but it was more on entrepreneurship. But this, the modules, well structured, and they really represent a lot. Because if you bring something that has to do with climate and try to give it a relationship with your agricultural business and food security, these are knowledge that we need at this time. I see you at Farouk Malemi Farms Digital. Since our inception, we've been working on smart technologies to do farming, because farming is actually the core of agriculture as we understand it. And during knowing more about farming, we understood that the best way to really break through in farming to be sustainable is to actually go with profit. And then we have to do a lot of intensive farming and intensive agri, especially on the field crops. We still had to use a lot of chemicals to it. I never thought this would really open my eyes to understand that the chemicals we're using are actually affecting the global, affecting global warming. But then we are now brainstorming. We have a new challenge to brainstorm on how we're going to reduce the levels, because intensive farming, food security, profit is very hard to leave conventional methods. But we look at how we're going to reduce this to a minimum that cannot affect much of everybody. And we are hoping for a time where all countries and everyone, especially the youth, can really come together and be serious. That is the truth. I'm from Nigeria. Our youths are not that serious. If they were serious, we won't have to go to intensive farming, because you find a very small proportion of farmers supplying food, and they see they are the only ones in the market. So if we have a very big network and ecosystem, I believe that this will work. It will work, because you don't have to go too much through a
Hello, Farouk. If you are still speaking, I cannot hear you. Could it be your network? I can barely hear you.
long
Okay, I think Farouk has dropped off. Awojobi Blessing, Please go ahead and quickly ask your question. This will be the last piece. Okay, I think that's the last, the only hand raised right now. So please unmute and just.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Can you
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much, and God bless you for this great training. So I've not been opportune to attend this training from the beginning. Last week, I didn't even know that it has even started. So last week that I was notified that it has been on, but it was today that my device was able to come up. But please, I know I've missed a lot, but how can I access the modules and at least be able to come up with you and at least flow in to understand better what you have been training others?
All right, Blessing. So the portal is still very much open. Just, I'm sure the person that reached out to you told you how to go ahead and do that. So just use your email address that you registered with, and then there's a password that was sent to you. Just go ahead and log into the portal, and that is it. So for now, it's still open. It's still very much open. So you can, for all the weeks that you think you have missed, they are still there. So you can still go and so that you can be at par with every other person. All right, so Oche Innocent, I hope this is the last. All right, please go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to appreciate Grace and the entire team for the.
Your voice is actually very low. I can barely hear you. Please, can you raise it a bit?
Hello.
Okay, yeah, better, but it's cracking.
Okay. I want to really appreciate Grace and its entire team for the consistency and also sound of the speech to everyone.
Oh, Ocha Innocent, I cannot hear anything at all. I can't hear anything that you're saying. Maybe you should just drop it in the chat box, or maybe log out and come back in, because it's really cracking. I can barely hear anything. Oh, so Jonathan, oh God, Jonathan, yeah, please go ahead and ask. Jonathan, I've asked you to unmute. Sorry, Peculiar, we can't. Please just drop it in the comment section and we'll answer it, please. Sorry. So Jonathan, please go ahead. Oh, okay.
Hello. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. This is Jonathan Mwilu from Kenya. I think I asked about whether after the session, or that is after 9th, whether we can be able to revisit the modules so that we can refresh the knowledge. I think knowledge is very crucial. Also, I think I'm answering someone who was asked about the certificate. I think you said that the certificates will be able to download them after the session, after we do the survey questions, which will be sent, I think, to on our login portal after these sessions. The session. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Jonathan. So I've also answered your first question before. I said for now the portal is still open and you'll be able to access the portal to do whatever it is that you need to do. If you need to take notes, if you need to do anything, please go ahead and do it, because once the portal is locked, you may not be able to access it anymore. You may not be able to access the modules, the videos, and all of that anymore. That's why you need to do what you need to do with the portal right now. So for the certificates, I'm actually going to talk about that definitely. So we are going to send a post-survey question, a post-diagnostic question, just like the way that you answered when you started. you see that it started with a pre-diagnostic question where some questions were asked and you answered those questions before you were able to start your module 1. So we're going to still do the same thing for this end. So after this call, by next week, you should have all of those post-diagnostic. So you log in back into the portal and you see the post-diagnostic questions. You answer the post-diagnostic questions and you will be able to download your certificates. Thank you so much. So Noah, please drop your question in the chat box and I'll answer them. Let me quickly check how do we get the certificates that I've already answered. What else is in the chat box? I'm unable to download my modules. Please reach out to any of the admins in the WhatsApp group or send an email to the Braze email address that we'll be using to send reminders to you, so that we'll address that from your end. Like I've explained earlier, some of you are clicking on the download of the additional reading materials. That's why it's not downloading for you. You have to open the file first before you are able to download it. Thank you so much. How can I be assisted to access the modules? Oh, you have not accessed the modules yet. Please reach out to anybody, any of the admins in the WhatsApp group if you're in the WhatsApp group, or send an email to the email address I've been sending you messages, so that we will be able to know why you have not been able to access the modules. Is it a single certificate, or after all, is a single certificate for the whole course? Is there any reward for top scholars? Yes, most definitely. There is reward for top scholars. You'll get to know that soon. Only top scholars should know what their rewards should be, right? But definitely there's a reward for being a top scholar. But that will be unveiled to only top scholars as well very soon. So, all right, I'll tell you all about top scholars very soon. So, what other things? So, quickly want to do the membership drive. Like I've always told you, there are other things that you may not be able to access if you do not become a member of the African Food Chain Makers. So, I am advising, is it advice I should advise now, that we should become a member of the African Food Chain Makers. That way we are able to enjoy all the other benefits that comes with African Food Chain Makers. So to do this, I would hand over to the membership officer at African Food Chain Makers to take us through the membership drive and then help us understand why it is important to be a member at African Food Chain Makers. So Nosa, if you are there, I will just mute my mic so that you would go ahead. Thank you so much. Okay, so because of I don't know why, but Nosa is not on the course. I'll just quickly want us to take us through the membership drive. So I want to think that a major number is already a member. Like if you are a member of the African Food Chain Makers, or you just signed up, I'm sure my colleagues are putting the link on the chat box for you to join. So if you have not joined yet, please click on that link and it will take you to some few questions to answer, and then you become a member of the African Food Chain Maker. It's actually really very easy to become a member of the African Food Chain Maker. It's really easy. So please, if you have not done that yet, click on the link in the chat box and then follow the process to become a chain maker. And if you're a chain maker already, maybe you can just let us know that I'm a chain maker. At this point, I expect that the comment section is flooded with, yes, I'm a chain maker, I am a chain maker, I'm changing narratives, like just saying that you all are part of the African Food Chain Makers Hub. So at African Food Chain Makers, we already have explained what African Food Chain Maker is, but what do you what do you stand to gain as being a member of the African Food Chain Makers Hub? So one is to assess, strengthen, and scale your agribusiness in the hub, you're able to meet with many other business owners across Africa, and then you're able to scale, you're able to interact, you're able to network with other people to see, okay, are there challenges you have in your business that you think you need some solutions to, and all of that. Who knows, someone must have had that challenge before and then scaled through it. So it's a platform to talk to other entrepreneurs like you. And then another thing is that it's prepare your business to enter new African and global markets. Beyond just the BRACE program, the African Food Chainmakers have a program called the Scaling Exports Program. Do you want to export your products from Africa or within Africa, anywhere at all, and all of that? We have a very robust program that handles that, and you want to be a member of the African Food Chainmakers so that you're able to access most of these opportunities. And then you are able to have referral to funding opportunities. So we do not directly fund people, but then if you are a member, we share funding opportunities with you. You'll be able to have referral to speak and then exhibit your goods when we have exhibition programs and all of that. You're also able to access a vibrant community members from across the world. We have a robust community where we have a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs. You can really have access to talking to people, talking to experts in different sector and value chains. And then the global markets linkages. For example, we have an exhibition in, or there's an exhibition program in USA or somewhere around Germany, and then we are attending as an organization. We want to carry your products along because you are a member and all that. So your products get to have a global recognition. So these and many more are some of the many things you can enjoy as being a member at African Food Chainmakers. So how do you become? I already said you should click on the link that's been dropped in the chat box to just become a member. And then if you have not clicked yet, you can also decide to become a member just by going into the African Food Chainmakers website, and then you see join the community there. Just click on join the community, and then the process is very easy after that. Very, very easy and all that. So the next thing is the marketplace. There's a marketplace in the hub which is accessible to for members to be able to upload their products and all of that. So if you are a member of the African Food Chainmakers, you should be, or you would be able to upload your products in the hub for other entrepreneurs, people, anybody that visits the website is able to see what you do and then your products in the website. So that's actually another thing. You never can tell who and who is visiting the website every now and then. So you should become a member of the African Food Chainmakers. With these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you to become a member of the African Food Chainmakers. So thank you very much. I just want to wait for questions. So if you have questions, concerns, and any other thing, you can please just let us know. I think some people are raising their hands. I have 3 hands raised already. Let me stop sharing so that I can see your hands. Okay, so Noah. All right, Noah, please go ahead and ask your question. I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. Actually, it's not a question, but a request.
Okay.
Yes, I was asking that those who have knowledge or are able to access the modules, can we please assist the rest, those who are having challenges? Like we can just partner with one. If someone has a challenge in accessing the module, we can just volunteer to assist them.
Yes, definitely. Once you reach out to any admin in the WhatsApp, I don't know whether you're in the WhatsApp group, we always would help you access the modules and all that. So, because for everyone that have reached out to us to say, oh, they are not able to access the modules, they are not able to access the portal, we definitely help them go through and then access the portal. So that's not a problem. It's not even an issue at all. If you have an issue accessing the portal, please reach out there. Up to 4 or 5 admins in the WhatsApp group. Reach out to any of us and we would be very glad to help you access the portal or the modules. So thank you so much, Noah. CHC Agritech. All right, please go ahead.
My question is that we've registered already or a member. Want your products to be posted because we already posted, but we are not seeing it in the general, what's this, e-commerce thing. And if it's not yet there, how long does it take or what is the requirement for it to be posted?
Okay, so as long as you are a member and you posted that, you're supposed to reflect in that place. So please, you might have to maybe send me a message if you're in the WhatsApp group there. Otherwise, you can also send an email to so that we can sort this out, because it's supposed to show as long as you're a member and then you are posted on the marketplace, you're supposed to be able to see your products in the marketplace. So please send us an email or a WhatsApp message. I'll definitely would be glad to help with that. All right, Samuel Mbete, please go ahead. Samuel Mbete, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you once again for this wonderful privilege to be on this platform. Regarding the exhibition of products, I'm privileged to be a fish farmer. I also into honey production processing. I wouldn't know, in terms of the exhibition, is it going to be only online, or is there a provision whereby if maybe you are having maybe a workshop or so, that exhibitions can also be done on site aside the online? That's first question. And then the second question, I think I want to direct that to CHC Agritech. I want to appreciate the generosity to want to extend trainings to other participants. I want to say I'm interested in gaining more training because I value knowledge and I value training. So I wouldn't know how we'll be able to get in touch with the organization in terms of getting trainings and then probably other opportunities that can enhance our agribusiness. And then lastly, in the course of the last teaching session concerning dryers, the speaker was making mention of solar dryers. I know a little about it, but I wouldn't know how, for people like us at the grassroots, how we'll be able to access some of those technologies, because being an ambassador of this program in order to enhance our climate, I wouldn't know how for persons like us at the rural level will be able to access those technology to aid us in our businesses so that we can also propagate the knowledge that we have acquired from this training. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. So I'll start with the last question that you asked. So she actually even talked about, maybe you didn't join from the beginning, and there was a story she told about someone in Niger State, and it was simply from a rural environment where there was no electricity at all. And then she was able to describe what happened with giving the person a solar machine, a solar cooler and all that. So at the end of the day, I do not think that being in a rural environment is a big deal to being able to get to use some of these solar machineries. So if for as many that are interested in all of the solar dryers, coolers, kilns and kilns and all of that, please reach out to us. You can send me an email or reach out to us via the WhatsApp platform and all of that. We're glad to do all of the connections. Definitely, we're going to be able to connect to the clean up technology again. So for this second question, okay, you said that was directed to CHC. Then the first question that you asked, that is on-site or online and all that, we don't even do exhibitions online. So we are seeing exhibition programs that there is a conference, there is a trade fair, there is something